Hello, this is Benjamin Koontz with the ID Cyber Academy. My last video, I went ahead and I built Domain Controller 1. For this one, we're going to build Domain Controller 2. So the first thing you're going to do is log into your computer. Alright, you're going to log in as the administrator. And then you're going to set your IP address. And you're going to set it as a static IP, but in this video, I'm going to leave it for DHCP. So you're going to go to Network and Sharing Center, Manage Network Connections. Double click on your local area connection, go to Properties, go to TCP IP version 4, Properties, and then normally you'd go here and assign it manually, but we're going to use Obtain IP address automatically for this. Alright. Okay, so the next step is to set your computer name. Right click Computer, go to Properties. Okay, we've got it set for org-dc2. Alright, so once again we're going to go to Server Manager, and then we're going to add a role. So the role that we're going to add is the Domain Services role. So you're going to hit Add Roles, skip, next, Active Directory Domain Services, next, next, and install. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put the recording on pause while this is going on. Okay, we're going to go ahead and resume now. It finished. It took about 5 minutes to finish, so just take that into account when you build it. Go ahead and hit Close and close Server Manager. Alright, you're going to go ahead and go to Start, type Command, type DC Promo. You're going to promote it to Domain Controller. Okay, at this point, click Next, and before we click Create a New Domain, but this time, because it's the second domain in the domain, we're going to use Existing Forest. We're going to add a domain controller to an existing domain. We're not going to create a child domain for this exercise. We're just going to do a domain controller. So go ahead and click Next. And the child domain was org.com. So then you got to set the credentials. We had an administrator account that we created earlier. So you type in your administrator account for the org.com. Go ahead and click OK. Next. Okay, it's going to examine the Active Directory for us. It's going to take about 20 seconds to do before it is going to could not be contacted. Let me pause it real quick because that should not be happening because it's open right now. Okay, I'm resuming. The reason why everything's not working, some of you probably already figured out, is because the DHCP. I got lazy and didn't set a static IP in here. So let's go to Command Prompt. Do ipconfig/all, and then you're going to go right here. So your IP address is, okay, this is the IP address of your DC1, so 158.136 is the IP you need to connect to. So you go to DC2, and you go to pull up your command prompt, do ipconfig/all, so you're going to set your IP address here. So go to Manage Network Connections, go to Properties, IP version 4. You're going to give this IP address 192.168.158.140, 192.168.158.2 based upon that, and then you're for the DNS server, you're going to put 158.130, and then we're going to look at the DC1, so that's 136 was DC1. 136, and then your alternate DNS server is going to be your loopback address 127.0.0.1. Click OK, click Close, and then you're just going to do a test to see that you can access the other domain controller. So ping org-dc1, and we can ping it, so that means we should be able to connect now. So go ahead and hit Next. There we go. So now we're in the domain. Okay, this is why you always set a static IP address. So I made a mistake and tried using DHCP just to try to speed things up, but it ultimately caused us to go slow. All right, go ahead and hit Next. DNS server and global catalog. We're not going to use a read-only domain controller in this case. Okay, yes, continue. You're going to keep this default. Next. Alright, this is your store password, so put your password in that you want to use. Alright, next. Alright, this is going to take about 5 or 10 minutes to finish, so I'm going to go ahead and put it on pause. So whenever you see this, it's going to automatically show up. Okay, for domain controller 2, it is finished now, so it took about 5 minutes to finish this part, so go ahead and click on finish, and you have to restart the computer now, so click the restart button. It's going to take a second to reload. So basically the reason why you're creating a second domain controller in your domain is because it shares the load with that first domain controller. If you only have like 5 or 6 users, it's just a home network, then or a small office, home office, you probably don't even need a domain, but you'd only have one domain controller, you wouldn't need the second one. But when you start getting more and more users, or you want to have some kind of redundancy, it's always good to have more than one domain controller. So that's why I'm doing a video based solely on DC2. I'm going to go ahead and pause it for a second. It's going to take a second for this to boot up. Okay, the machine is booted up now, so Control Insert once again because we're using VMware. Alright, you see right there where it says org, means we're on the domain now, so log in with our account. Alright. Actually, this is a different password. This is the one that we set earlier that we had to reset, so that's why it didn't let us in. Alright, so now you go to Start, Administrative Tools, Active Directory Users and Computers, and now you can see that you are in the org.com domain. And if you go to domain controllers, you can see that there's DC2 and DC1. So now you've got your second domain controller. This concludes the video for creating a second domain controller. There will be more videos in addition to this, teaching you how to set up DNS, teaching you how to set up an Exchange server, Adobe Connect, you name it. So thank you for viewing and have a great day.